Graham Hill was an iconic figure in the world of motorsport, known for his charm, wit, and relentless pursuit of success. He was the only driver to have won the Triple Crown of motorsport, which includes victories at the Monaco Grand Prix, the Indianapolis 500, and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Despite these remarkable achievements, Hill's life was abruptly cut short in a plane crash in 1975, leaving the racing community in shock and mourning. Norman Graham Hill was born on February 15, 1929, in Hampstead, London. He grew up in a modest family, and his early years were far from easy. His father was a stockbroker who had lost much of his fortune in the Great Depression, leading to financial hardships. Despite these struggles, Hill's love for mechanics and automobiles emerged early in his life. He was not born into a racing family, and unlike many of his peers, he did not have immediate access to the world of motorsport. His path to success was forged through his sheer determination and passion for racing. Graham Hill married Betty, who stood by him throughout his racing career. The couple had 2 children, Damon and Samantha. The Hill family was deeply involved in motorsport, with Betty supporting Graham in his endeavors. Damon Hill, inspired by his father, went on to become a Formula One world champion in 1996. The Hill family's connection to racing created a legacy that would span generations, making them one of the most notable families in the sport. Hill's educational background was not particularly distinguished. He attended a local secondary school in London, but showed little interest in academics. His true passion lay in understanding how things worked, particularly engines and cars. After finishing school, Hill joined the Royal Navy as an apprentice engineer, which further developed his mechanical skills. It was during this time that his passion for racing began to take shape, eventually leading him to pursue a career in motorsport. Graham Hill's professional racing career began somewhat later than many of his contemporaries. He didn't start racing until he was in his mid-20s, initially working as a mechanic for Lotus, where he convinced the team to let him drive. Hill's natural talent behind the wheel quickly became apparent. In 1958, he made his debut in Formula One with Lotus. His first few years in the sport were challenging as he struggled to find competitive machinery, but Hill's persistence paid off. In 1962, Hill secured his first Formula One World Championship with BRM, British Racing Motors, establishing himself as one of the top drivers in the sport. He was known for his smooth driving style, consistency, and ability to perform under pressure. Hill's second world championship came in 1968 while driving for Lotus, further cementing his status as a racing legend. Hill's achievements were not confined to Formula One. He also found success in other motorsport disciplines, becoming the only driver to win the Triple Crown of motorsport. His victories at the Monaco Grand Prix, Indianapolis 500, and 24 Hours of Le Mans remain unmatched to this day. The final moments of Graham Hill's life are etched in the memories of those who followed his career. On November 29, 1979, Hill was piloting a twin-engine Piper Aztec aircraft, returning to London from France after a test session for his Formula One team, Embassy Hill. On board were 5 other passengers, including rising star Tony Bryce, who was tipped to be the next big name in Formula One. As the plane approached Elstree Airfield in North London, the weather conditions deteriorated rapidly. Thick fog enveloped the area, reducing visibility to almost zero. Hill, an experienced pilot, was attempting to navigate through the fog to land the plane safely. However, in the treacherous conditions, the plane clipped trees on a golf course just short of the runway, causing it to crash. The crash occurred at approximately 10:30 p.m., instantly killing all 6 people on board. The impact was so severe that the wreckage was scattered across the golf course and the plane was barely recognizable. The news of the crash sent shockwaves through the motorsport community and the wider world, as one of racing's greatest champions had met a tragic and untimely end. The investigation into the crash was thorough, given the high-profile nature of the incident. The Air Accidents Investigation Branch, AAIB, led the inquiry into what went wrong that night. Initial findings pointed to poor weather conditions as a significant factor. The thick fog that blanketed the area made it incredibly difficult for Hill to maintain visual contact with the runway. Despite being an experienced pilot, Hill was not as familiar with Elstree Airfield as he was with other airships, which may have contributed to the crash. Further investigation revealed that there might have been an issue with the plane's altimeter, which could have given Hill incorrect readings about his altitude as he attempted to land. This, combined with the poor visibility, likely led to the plane descending too early, causing it to strike the trees. The final report concluded that the crash was due to a combination of pilot error, adverse weather conditions, and possible mechanical issues with the plane. The tragic irony was that Hill had been an advocate for safety throughout his racing career, yet it was a lapse in aviation safety that led to his death. The aftermath of Graham Hill's death was felt deeply within the racing world. The loss of such a prominent figure was a stark reminder of the dangers that drivers and teams faced both on and off the track. Hill's death also brought to light the risks associated with private aviation, particularly for those who were not full-time professional pilots. The crash not only claimed the life of Hill, but also that of Tony Bryce, a young driver with immense potential. Bruce's death was seen as a double blow to British motorsport, as he was widely regarded as a future world champion. Graham Hill's death had a significant impact on society, particularly within the motorsport community. His passing was a catalyst for discussions about safety, both in motorsport and in aviation. The tragedy highlighted the need for stricter regulations and better training for private pilots, many of whom were high-profile individuals involved in various industries, including motorsport. Graham Hill's life was a remarkable journey of determination, skill, and success. From his modest beginnings to becoming a two-time Formula One world champion, Hill's achievements on the track were extraordinary. However, his story is also one of tragedy, as his life was abruptly ended in a plane crash that shocked the world. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you all liked it. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you will never miss any episode of our enthralling series.